Hello, aloha, everybody, and welcome. I'm Natalie, and this is Life After a Cult, the channel where we expose cult nonsense, laugh at the absurdity, and hopefully unbrainwash ourselves in the process. Lot to talk about today, including we're going to ZDT. So you may know him, you may not know him. We're going to go over it. Has been arrested. We're going to look at some reactions from Scientology Audit Streets, LA. William Good, growing up in Scientology. Aaron Smith-Levin. We're also going to talk about Grant Cardone. Yes, Grant Cardone is playing doctor. Yes, the real estate mogul turned wannabe doctor is making some wild claims. We're going to talk about that. And Jenna Miscavige has another new interview that's out with Tim Fletcher. I have been so excited about this coming out. I was able to see it before it went live. We are going to look at that and a whole bunch of other things. Thank you so much, moderators, for being here today, and members in the chat. Everybody else in the chat, I see you. I appreciate you being here because y'all know what today is. It is Aloha Friday. I've got like the festive yellow on. I'm feeling it. I got music playing in my head. We had a question in the chat today as we move along. If y'all could answer it, I do believe it's pinned at the top, which is, what are your favorite pump me up songs? We want to create an Alohatology playlist, and I want to hear from you guys. So Mama Opal is going to keep track of that in the chat. What's your pump up music? In the morning, sometimes I need a little bit of pump me up music. I know what I listen to. I want to add to it. I want to hear what you guys are listening to. So throw that in the chat, and Mama Opal's keeping track. And I do believe she's going to make a playlist on Spotify, and we're going to share it on our Facebook page. There is a community Facebook group, Life After a Cult. You can find it. You've got to answer the questions to be allowed into the kingdom. So please go ahead and do that if you're already not a member of the group. It's a fun way to talk about shows afterwards, spread more aloha, share some other stories that you come across. But really, if it's something you want me to share on the recap, be sure to email that to me, Natalie@lifeafteraccult.com. Okay, look at all that housekeeping business we took care of. Oh my gosh, I'm already like sweating like a whore in church. Okay, so somebody put in the comments that my lights are not putting out heat. So this is all menopause. That like shattered. I thought I get so overheated because of the light. They're like, LED lights don't put out heat. I'm like, well, tell the sweat that. Oh, the other thing I'm going to share with you guys later on in this video is my adventure yesterday. I did a podcast in a sauna. You do the interview in the sauna. It's a new podcast called Get Sweaty with Letty. And I'm going to show you a little piece of that and whether or not I did the cold plunge. Some of you already know. Don't spoil it. We're going to go ahead and share that. But first, we got to talk about the Netherlands. Speaking of cold plunges, the Netherlands. Now, some of you, I don't know if we have anybody here from the Netherlands or with ties there, but if you got family, you got people there, you got to let them know. Scientology is trying to be extra. And they are trying to be extra in the Netherlands with their Citizens Commission on Human Rights. That is their front group where they pretend to promote human rights while covering up for the cult of Scientology and all of their human rights abuses. Citizens Commission on Human Rights is the same organization, forget you not, where someone leaked, it came out that allegedly this is the organization that Scientology uses to hand packets of money to people to go after former Scientologists or people who are critical of Scientology. In other words, sharing the truth. And the person who is in jail right now is one of those people, but we'll get to that in a little bit. First, let's go get outraged about the Netherlands. Scientologists lead human rights advocacy in mental health through CCHR, which is the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, exhibition in the Netherlands. So much wrong with that title. I know I don't have to tell you, but if you are new to the channel, the Citizens Commission on Human Rights is a front group that also promotes ending psychiatry. They're like down with mental health treatment. You guys were mean to L. Ron Hubbard. We're not having it. Forget the fact that L. Ron Hubbard was on psychiatric medication when he died, leading up to his death, when he was researching Scientology, auditing, all things we find out after we leave Scientology. So forget all that. No, let's create the Citizens Commission of Human Rights, run around, try and end psychiatry and valid mental health treatment so Scientology can corner the market. How's that working for you? It's not working, but doesn't stop them from trying. So they went on, this is a press release probably from Scientology that got published in the European Times. The Netherlands Committee for Human Rights Foundation, in collaboration with the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, successfully hosted the traveling exhibition, Psychiatry and Industry of Death, at the blah, blah, blah in Amsterdam. This powerful event, held February 15th through the 17th, shed light on historical and contemporary human rights violation within psychiatry. Now, I'm not trying to say that psychiatry has never had any human rights violations, right? They have. We know it. They know it. The world knows it. But we learn more research. We learn better, we do better, right? But no, Scientology is still on the war path of trying to end this, which says a lot because we know what the effects are of the lack of valid mental health treatment, especially with people who go through trauma in Scientology. So if you have people in the Netherlands, let them know, beware, beware. And again, this is something that Scientology does, and they send out these press release. I doubt like the whole area is so down with this, but something to keep an eye on, as I like to say. Now we need to go over. Oh, do we need to go to the, is it time to go to the underground bunker? Y'all ready? Boop, 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 boop. Back in the bunker. We are going to look at a story from the underground bunker, Tony Ortega, because I'm sure you guys have been waiting with bated breath. How's that go? Waiting with bated breath. I do believe that is the saying. You may have been waiting and wondering, Natalie, what's happening with Scientology's culty cruise ship, the Freewinds? Well, Scientology's floating cathedral is back in a big way, pilgrims. Look at this. This is Scientology's Freewind ships. Many of you who went on, was it last year? It was last year, went on a cruise with a bunch of people from the SPTV community, saw the Freewinds. Chow Yun Smut put this whole thing together and a bunch of people went. And while they were on the cruise, they pulled up next to the Freewinds and it was glorious. The photos, what they saw, what they talked about, it was all amazing. So here's the deal. Here's what's being said. There was no doubt that the pandemic was hard on Scientology's aging cruise ship, the Freewinds, which spent months going nowhere during the lockdowns, which, I mean, I don't know, that kind of just sounds like Scientology in general, going nowhere since 1950. And we have wondered about the seaworthiness of this expensive floating cathedral, where Scientologists must go if they want to achieve operating Thetan level 8, the highest step on Scientology's bridge to total freedom. How many more years can this old barge continue to ply the Caribbean? Well, a new flyer put out by Scientology suggests that the Freewinds is gamely sailing on into the future and that it has pretty much returned to its old ways. Of course, not enough wealthy Scientologists seeking operating Thetan level 8 can justify keeping the ship going because, right, it's expensive, right, to run a cruise ship, even though they don't pay their staff. This ship is run by Sea Org members making less than $50 a week when they do get paid. And Scientology charges all kinds of money to do services here. Let's see. So they open it up to lesser beings who still want the experience of cruising with some Hubbard technology thrown in. This public relations convention is a perfect example of that. After all, who knows public relations better than the Church of Scientology, right? All aboard. So here we see Freewinds is hosting an expansion cruise. Well, I don't even know. Where's that supposed to be? Does not look like the Caribbean to me. Maybe have I not been there? I don't know that background. Am I being picky? Is my brain getting stuck on something unimportant? LRH tools to expand across your dynamics, learned in the most theta environment on Earth. So this is going on the 27th of February through the end of March. They're going to 5 ports of call: Barbados, St. Lucia, Curacao, Aruba, and Cartagena. I don't know that one. I think I've been to Curacao. I don't think I've been to St. Lucia's or Barbados. Then there's details on it. You can do a sunrise breakfast on the pool deck. You know, here's photos that they use. Now, Scientology is not going to let you off that ship to do all these things unless you push hard. That's what I did when I was on the Freewinds. I went on the ship, I don't know, 1 time or 2 times? I think 1 time. I always forget. I'm pretty sure it was 1 time. And I did get off the ship to do excursions, but I had to fight for it. I had to be like, oh, okay. When I signed up, I was shown photos of beaches in the Caribbean and told that I could go jet skiing. Are you now telling me that's not the case? Yeah. What are they going to say? Nothing. My butt every morning was off doing excursions. Then I'm going to go do my Scientology courses until like dinner time, and then I disappear and go hide somewhere. Try and find some true freedom on that ship. Amber says, I used to know a guy that worked on the Freewinds back in the day. I wonder if he's still there. Yeah, a lot have left, but some are still there. Itchy Thetan says, are they sailing to do their own polar plunge? You know, if they could find a way to monetize that, I'm sure that they would add it on. and they'll call it some crazy Scientology thing, some super Iceman, something that gives you more superpowers in Scientology. You have to cold plunge in the Freewinds pool specifically because it's filled with the sweat and tears of Sea Org members and Scientologists abused who came before. That's what you're plunging in when you jump into that Freewinds pool, just so you know. But they don't keep it cold. Oh, it's in Colombia. Thank you, Lisa Pete. Thank you, thank you. Cartagena is in Colombia. Okay, good. We learned something every day around here. I love it. Fabulous. Okay, now, Grant Cardone is playing doctor. I know this might shock you. Grant Cardone plays a lot of things. Billionaire, real estate mogul, and now doctor. He wants you to listen to him. The funniest thing about this post on X that I'm going to share with you is actually some of the responses. Let's take a look at that. So we've got here, we go over to X. We got Grant Cardone. Audit SSRI medications. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, class of medications being overprescribed to treat depression, anxiety, and other made-up disorders. These are people killers: Prozac, Zoloft, Lexapro, Paxil. So let's just kind of like break that apart for a minute. These are people killers. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have a problem with overprescribing people in our country, but I think that's a conversation that needs to be had on an individual basis. That's between you and your doctor, you and your care team. You know what I'm saying? You could get a second opinion if you don't like what your doctor is saying. You could get a third opinion. You can research it yourself and find out. That is my suggestion to everybody, rather than listening to Dr. Cardone over here. Look at some of these responses. Are you a medical doctor? I think that one was my favorite. Let's see. We need to go further upstream than the drugs to fix the issues of depression, anxiety, and other mental disorders. Now, the other thing here, what does he say? He says, and other made up disorders. This is a Scientologist at the top of Scientology's bridge to total freedom, operating Thetan level 8, I'm pretty sure. And he's saying that anxiety and depression are made up disorders, that they're not actually real. Well, I don't know. I kind of want to challenge that, Grant Cardone, and maybe starting with, I don't know, the large number of attempts and successes in unaliving oneself of Scientologists and former Scientologists. I kind of want to push back on that and be like, I don't know, depression seems to be a thing. Anxiety does seem to be a thing. And there's also solutions for it. Not all the solutions are medication based, but that needs to be a discussion between you and your doctor, not Grant Cardone. Let's see if there's any other interesting comments here. Let's see. Here's a person claiming that all the data on SSRIs was made up. How do those kill people? Genuinely curious. Interesting. I love this one too, by Jack Mehoff. Interesting how folks suddenly become pharmacologists on Twitter. SSRIs literally save lives. If I've seen it firsthand with family members, maybe let's leave medical decisions to doctors and patients instead of hot takes. Yep, I agree. What do you guys think about that? Grant Cardone playing doctor. Jump in those comments if you're on the replay, and on the live chat, let me know. Let me know. Nancy's helped star in some questions for me as we go. In fact, let's grab some of those so I don't run too far behind. SP Crusader, Lenny, I received the Freewinds latest leaflet for the FSM game, and that's the field staff member game. Those are basically Scientologists who get paid a commission for bringing people into Scientology. I'll mailbox it to you. Thank you, SP Crusader. I'll keep an eye out for that. And two, if you get Scientology, propaganda in your email box, feel free to send it to me, Natalie at lifeaftercult.com. Nisa, they don't even have military backgrounds. Does the Navy even know about them? Oh, the Freewinds? Probably not. Or they're probably on some kind of watch list with the Navy, if I had to guess. Asen says Grant Cardone also plays an intelligent man. Asen. Julia O'Connell, I feel he doesn't know the truth about medications that help people on a daily basis. I have 2 neighbors with bipolar. Truly, in many cases, these medications are absolutely life-saving. But this is part of the propaganda from Scientology that these things don't exist. Similar with Asperger's or autism. Let's not forget about John Travolta's son, okay? The way that Scientology failed to handle that, tragic. They are not the authority on this, even though they walk around saying that they are the authority on the mind. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe on L. Ron Hubbard Way, half of the street, just a little bit of that block. That's about the amount of people that you have listening to you. Bob says Cardone needs to take a cold shower. BJ's Critters, aloha, finally catching a live. You're catching a good one because it's Aloha Friday, where we like to throw out lots of extra. Aloha. All right, now let's take a look at, oh my gosh, I must have watched this 5 times from Frell Cheryl, and I'm still laughing and losing my mind over it. Every time I see it, I cannot. You know what, though? I don't want to get too far behind before we wake up the Office of Special Affairs. We should do it now because I don't want them to miss out on Frell Cheryl's genius. David Miscavige, wake up your people. Oh, Office of Special Affairs, my lovelies. It is Friday. It is Aloha Friday. So you know what? Aloha to you, Office of Special Affairs. How are y'all doing today? We have a lot to talk about. There's some things I want to make sure that you do not miss. But as usual, just a little reminder, if and when you are ready to leave Scientology and leave the Sea organization, we can help you when you come out. You know how to reach me. You know where I'm at, right? Let's be real. You know where I'm at. But I don't want you to miss this because this is really funny and it's okay to laugh. I know. In Scientology, you'd be called a joker and a degrader, and you've been indoctrinated to believe that it's not okay to laugh and make fun of Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, David Miscavige, or other Scientologists. Well, I got news for you. In the outside world, people have this thing called a sense of humor, and it's okay. Sometimes we laugh at things because we reject them because they're so ridiculous. Sometimes we laugh at things like this because they're so spot on, and we're like, yeah, that plays. That totally plays. Is it BJ Critter's birthday? Oh, okay. I got to remember I'm on Frell Cheryl's thing. Nancy, don't let me forget. Oh my gosh, BJ Critters, happy birthday. Let's do a little happy birthday quick here. Everybody now. All together.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
BJ Critters.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, BJ's Critters. What a great name you have there. Throw lots of alohas. Happy birthdays in the chat. If you're on the replay, we feel like you're here with us now, so you jump in as well. And mahalo to everybody who's sharing those birthday wishes. I love a good birthday. Okay, so Frell Cheryl, let's look at this. Let's look at this.
Hello? Hello, Xenu. Yes, this is a bad time to call. I'm cleaning this spaceship right now. What do you want? Do I know Natalie? Yes, I know Natalie. I know her from the Stella's Bestie Club. Why do you want her number? No one wants to hear your side of the story, buddy. By the way, you owe me child support. What? Oh, going through it. Oh, no. Oh, I think it's cutting off.
Oops, hold on. I was laughing so hard I deleted the wrong thing. Oh, hold on, I gotta pull something back up. That's so funny. I just love that she does that. It's so funny. Z Xena. It's Xena, because Xenu's ex-wife is Xena. Oh my gosh, I just seriously cannot get enough. All right. Something else I could not get enough of was Dan Walks LA did a compilation. First, though, let's finish giving props to Frell Cheryl here. So funny. I agree. She's the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Jamie. By the way, good to see you, Jamie. Frell Cheryl is here in the chat. So shout her out, you guys. That was hilarious. I absolutely love the creativity there. All right, now let's look at Dan Walks LA. Dan Walks LA has been live streaming and protesting Scientology in where? LA. Actually, he's also been to New Orleans and some other places. I think he went to the Ventura org as well. Anyways, Dan did a compilation, I guess you'd call it, of his "Hello, have a nice day, you're still in a cult." Let's take a look at what he came up with. This is on Dan Walks LA. I'm going to link it down below, along with everything else, so you can take a look at it.
Excellent. Keep it up. Enjoy your cult. Confronting and shattering suppression. How long have you been in Scientology, ma'am? Can you tell me something good about your religion? Anything?
Don't you just want to say, "Tell me something good"? Wow, wow. Dating myself. Name that song in the chat if you can.
It is? Oh, good. I'm happy to hear that. Hope you continue with your wins and gains. I'm an SP, so I hope it didn't cost you any auditing by you being here, but that's all right. Enjoy your time. And if you need to leave Scientology, we're here to help you. Hi! Have fun in your cult, miss. Oh, look, they put the banner up! No way! Out ethics, out PR! Hi there. What OT level are you? Is this where you learn about Xenu? Hi, miss. How are you today? Thank you for saying hello.
The place too where most of these people are that of these videos are at the Advanced Organization of Los Angeles. So everybody here, majority of people that are going in have at least achieved the state of clear where what? Wait, I've been mocking up my own reactive mind and I'm not going to do it anymore. Just saved you $100,000. Most of them are there getting ready to do the operating Thetan levels or they're already on them. Usually you can tell if they're on them because they have a briefcase strapped to their wrist or their body in some way.
Have fun in your child trafficking cult. You're in a cult, sir. Wake up, sir. You're in a cult. Going into her cult. There she goes. So proud, so brave. $47 a week, you guys, for Sea Org members. Oh, lady, you're not in this cult, are you? Very sad for you.
Yeah, she couldn't get out of there fast enough. I'm going to link it down below so you can see the whole thing. He put together a whole compilation of it. This wasn't one day, Marcy. This was like days. He put together a compilation. There's not that many people. Did I see Moose on the Loose go flying by too? And hey, does it matter to you, not to me? Welcome, welcome. Oh, hey, Vernon. Aloha to you on this Aloha Friday. There's Moose on the Loose. Go Dan. He's awesome. That's right. You guys got to spend time in New Orleans. That looked like it was a lot of fun. I hope you do more collaborating like that. That was really fun to watch. Oh, Diane. So that Columbia City is pronounced Cartagena. That actually sounds familiar. Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. I'll probably forget. You will have to tell me again. It's just how it goes. Oh my God. I got to turn up the menopause fan. Seriously. Now that I know look at that. My face is even turning red. You know why? I think I forgot to take one of my supplements yesterday that helps with this. So here we are. Here we are. Hot flashing away. Yes. Hashtag menopause. Okay, now San Francisco. We got to go to San Francisco because Club Brain Fog, who, if you follow her, you don't know about her, check her out, Club Brain Fog here on YouTube, had a little Aaron Cairo sighting. And who is Aaron Cairo? If you're new to the channel, Aaron Cairo is the head of Scientology in San Francisco and also the head of Braille skateboarding. He went to Florida. He trained for a couple of years under David Miscavige, came back and blew a bunch of stuff up, basically. And we don't always see him in San Francisco Scientology. Some of us have wondered, is he really there working? Well, Club Brain Fog got a sighting and saw him. Let's take a look.
Oh, and one of the boards are off. I wonder why. Come on, look up. Look up. Can I get closer? That's it. That's all I can get. But it's better than nothing. So, God's got big nose. Oh,
See, he notices her. He tells her. Now she looks and notices. They both know she's there. He's like, I can't walk away right away because she'll think it's because of her. Let me text the Galactic Overlord and find out. No, he says I should walk away. I should definitely walk away. Yeah, I'm walking away. Not having it. Nope, nope. Don't let the door hit ya where the good Lord split ya, Aaron Cairo. One of these days, I'm really holding out hope that, you know, like many Scientologists, Aaron Cairo is going to go, wait a minute. This is not the life I chose for myself. I'm not doing the things of my own choosing. I don't get to read and look at anything I want to. Wait a minute. I'm a grown ass man. Why am I doing 3 roll calls a day? Sometimes, you know, I think it's going to happen. I do. I can't remember his history. I can't remember if was he raised in Scientology? I can't recall. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. If anybody knows, throw it in the chat. And if you're on the replay, no slack in here. You jump in those comments. Tell me what you think. Paralyzed to Paralyzed says he was texting the director of special affairs. Yeah, that is their Office of Special Affairs counterpart. You guys, Office of Special Affairs, you know, those are your little on the ground spies that you send who write reports and send them back to you about what the local Scientologists are doing and any that are getting out of line that might need a little bit of extra reprogramming. That's what you do. Northern Girl, thank you for the reminder. Hit that like button, y'all, and check your subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed. Skyfire says, I mostly passed my hot flashes, but I really enjoyed the stacking walk-in cooler at work for a couple of years. No kidding. It's starting to calm down a little bit now. Thank goodness they kind of come and go. I saw a comment fly by. Someone said like they didn't have a menopause symptom the entire time. That's amazing. You need to be studied. We need to study you and figure out how to bottle it. We do. I only found out recently that menopause ends. I thought, oh man, I'm finally getting my life back. I've been 15 years out of Scientology. I'm like starting to get my head put back on a little bit after, Tony passing and working through my grief. And now, menopause symptoms. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can deal with this the rest of my life. And it was actually Nancy who told me it ends. I thought, oh, good. I thought it was going to be like this forever. Kelly Copter, aloha to you. So good to see you. So good to see you indeed. All right, now that Kelly Copter's here. Oh gosh, darn it. I just X'd out of the wrong thing again. Let me find it. Now that Kelly Copter is here, we can move on. We can move on. We need to go take a look at Literally Surge at his Substack. Literally Surge wrote an article that we're going to take a look at. I'm going to link it down below so you can read the whole thing. Trapped Behind Bladed Fences. Valerie Haney's Fight for Justice and Scientology's Courtroom Scam. That is Valerie Haney, because she is just striking. Each time I see a different photo of this woman, I'm just like, dang, girl, gorgeous. Here's actual evidence, you guys, of what I promised during today's live. Let it sink in. Look at this bladed fence. Not just a barrier, but a fortress designed to keep people in. The spikes don't just face outward like you'd expect for security. They face both directions because in Scientology, it's not just about keeping outsiders away. It's about making sure no one inside can ever leave. So take a look at this. This is correct. I've seen this multiple times over the years, and I thought it was important to share it with all of you who may not have seen this. This is at Scientology's international base. When people say that they escape Scientology, it is often very, very literal. Exactly, Kellycopter, not to mention the hidden cameras and underground microphones. This is as much to keep Scientology staff, Sea Org members in than it is to keep people out. This is the insidious thing about it. This isn't just some over-the-top conspiracy theory. This is real. This is designed with intention. This is a system built to trap people. And if you've ever wondered why people don't just leave Scientology, if you've ever questioned why victims don't simply walk away, take a long, hard look at those spikes. Now, this is the international base where, let's be honest, much of the worst of what we hear about Scientology abuses occurred here. This is where Valerie Haney escaped from, in the back of the trunk of a car of somebody she didn't even know. And now Scientology is putting through, is doing all kinds of shenanigans. She's got a lawsuit that's going on, but she was told, no, you got to do Scientology arbitration, that BS, because all of us multiple times signed these documents in Scientology saying, no, I will do arbitration. So she's being held to that. And let's admit it, Scientology hires some really good lawyers. So when they wrote these things that we all were made to sign over and over again, they knew what they were doing. It's almost like they knew, you know what? We should make this form really airtight when it comes to lawsuit, because we're pretty sure most people are going to want to leave here and then sue us. So let's come up with a way to wear them out, drain their resources and drag it on forever. And let's do this arbitration where we're going to even torture them even more, as if they've not been through enough. Let's make it so they have to do that before a court will ever listen to them. That is Scientology. Them and their spikes right there. I'm going to link that down below. You should read the whole article. Again, that is by literally Serge on his Substack. You can subscribe to his Substack so that you get notifications each day. And those notifications, by the way, work, because I subscribed and I do get the notifications when he posts a new article. Miriam Francis is also on Substack, Rage Against the Dark Arts. Same thing. You can subscribe and then you get a notification and you can see what she's putting out as well. And they both also have YouTube channels and are survivors of Scientology. Let's see. Let's not fall too behind here. Linda Lou says, Cardone, maybe you'd like to spend some time with me unmedicated. You'd have a rude awakening. Ooh, Linda Lou, you tell him. Can you imagine? It'd be so great if he took you up on that. I feel for anybody in his immediate circle who is in need of these types of medications. I truly do. Because guess what's happening? They're going untreated. And what happens if it goes untreated? It gets worse. And it can become other ailments, like mental health left unchecked. When you really have mental illness, it doesn't just get better. It can get worse if it's not treated. And in Scientology, it's ignored. And then you're made to feel like you're the a-hole because, how dare you? How dare you go and have, anxiety that doesn't even exist? Per what Grant Cardone just said, right? Depression and anxiety. These are made up things. Well, somebody should tell that to Rebecca Minkoff, because she just told a publication not that long ago how Scientology helps her with her anxiety. Girl, what anxiety? Because one of your fellow cult members here is saying there's no such thing, that it's not real. So how do you explain that? Tell me what you guys think about that in the chat. If you're on the replay, jump in those comments. We want to know. We want to talk about it. Oh, let me get that. Life After a Cult hotline. This is Natalie. Yep. What's your question? Oh, okay. Hang on. You escaped. Like just now. Are you safe? Are they chasing you? All right. All right. Just take some deep breaths. You got this. That's what matters. Let's back it up. How did this start? That's how they get you. It's just a meeting. Come check it out. Yeah. No pressure. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, yeah. Next thing you know, bam, you're in too deep. Wait, they told you what to wear? And everything had to match. Uniforms. That's never a good sign. Yep. Wait, weekly gatherings where they made you chant together. That is textbook cult behavior. And they controlled what you eat. No. Let me guess. They pretended it was just a suggestion, but really you were pressured into it. Yep, classic. If you really belong here, you'll make the right choice. Yeah, manipulation at its finest. Whoa. You had to memorize specific phrases and repeat them back. And if you messed up, they made you do it again. Let me guess, they had a leader. A big untouchable authority figure that nobody dares question. Oh, wow. And people just blindly follow them, just smiling and nodding like brainwashed zombies. Okay, yeah. Wait, well, what finally made you realize you needed to get out? They made you wake up early on a Saturday morning. Okay. Oh, no. Absolutely not. That's the final straw. Nobody voluntarily wakes up early on a Saturday unless they're being controlled. No, you did the right thing. Nobody should live like that. How'd you get out? Wait, you pretended to go to the bathroom and just never went back? That's brilliant. Classic escape strategy. Wait, what do you mean the worst part? What? You weren't in a cult. You escaped a yoga class. Yeah. You thought yoga was a cult. All right. Well, just to be clear, nobody was forcing you to stay. You chose to go, right? Okay. And the uniform? Well, I don't know who's still wearing matching leggings. That seems like that should be a crime, but yeah, that would be for yoga. All right. I get it. The chanting, the strict posture rules, the groupthink, it's a lot. But that wasn't a cult, my friend. It was a hot yoga class. Yeah, I understand. It feels like brainwashing. They were just correcting your downward dog. Yeah, I know Karen from the front row acted like she was their supreme leader, but that's just how there's one in every yoga studio. All right, listen, you're not in a cult. You just don't like sweating at 6 a.m. And honestly, that's fair. I tell you what, next time, just maybe try Pilates. Fewer chants, more core work. But if they ask you to sign a 1 billion-year contract, then call me back. Yeah, have a cult for a day. Oh, well, folks, turns out not everything is a cult. But if your instructor starts calling themselves the enlightened one and demanding donations for spiritual advancement, you might just want to run. Here to help. We are all here to help. Yeah. Oh, no, not Karen. Yeah, there's one in every yoga class. Truly, indeed. Hey, pause for Andrea. Catching up. Lisa, you made the live. Hey, you might have just missed our cult call for the day. You might have to back up. Queen of Karma. Yes, go to the bathroom and never return. I feel like that could work in a lot of situations. And by the way, you guys, Queen of Karma has a YouTube channel where she talks about cults. She did a video the other day that's in my queue to watch about Scientology. And I think their Super Bowl ad, but go check her out. I just found out. She's been in the chat and I just the other day was like, oh, she's got a YouTube channel. I need to check this out. Okay, where are we? Oh, we have got to talk about Jenna Miscavige's interview with Tim Fletcher. Oh, I'm so excited about this. We've been talking about this for quite some time. We're going to look at a clip and we're going to talk about it. Oh, and thank you for the reminder, Mama Opal. We're making a playlist of favorite hype songs from people in the chat. What's your favorite song to get you pumped up? Put it in the chat. And Mama Opal's going to make a playlist and we're going to share it. It's going to be a Spotify playlist. And we're going to share it in the Facebook group. I could probably do a post too on the community page about it. What is your favorite pump up music? I know what mine is. I'd like to learn yours. Oh, Julia, goat yoga. I have not done that. It looks fun because of the goats. I always wondered though, what if, do they poop and pee? How do they handle that? How do they handle that? Or are they just trained? I don't know. But yeah, those baby goats are so cute. Would love to do that. Here's an update. We got 53 songs so far on the list. If you contributed your hype song, put it in the chat and tag Mama Opal. I love you guys are throwing in your songs. Okay, so anyways, Jenna Miscavige on Tim Fletcher. You got Tim, am I saying his name right? I am. Okay. I've been waiting for this to come out. I thought it was amazing. He, with his background, he's a therapist, I believe, but there's more to it than that. I was watching his channel even before Jenna did the interview because his insights into CPTSD and trauma from childhood and how do you process that and move forward today, I've always found really interesting. And she's doing a series of interviews with him, and they are very, very enlightening. And that's not a right word. Why does that sound weird? Enlightening? They're very enlightening? No, it should be right. You ever have sometimes where words just suddenly don't make sense in your head, even though you've used them a million times? Is that just me? Does that just happen to me? I'm okay if it is. Love Jenna. Absolutely, Asen. So let me get this pulled up here. Let me get back to work. Let's watch this clip and we shall discuss.
Shame is the core. She
Right.
went by abandoning her kids and choosing Scientology. You come along as a mother and shame is the core, but you go, I'm going to go pendulum swing overboard with my kids. I'm going to be there every waking minute for them, but you still got shame.
Yeah.
So
For
the
sure.
pendulum swung, but the same issue is still driving the ship.
Mm. Yeah.
It just worked out in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And I feel like when you say shame, like there's literally no feeling that I know better in my life than shame. Like just all the time. Like my whole childhood is like everything about it every day.
Yeah.
Everything you do is just like driven completely by shame and just like and then later on after leaving Scientology, like only in the last 2 years, like even I remember when I wrote my book, it was like the only thing that is good about me is my kids.
Right.
And it was like the only thing that made me know that maybe I'm good too.
Now, if you read Jenna's book, some of this might not surprise you, but the depths in which they get into and they talk about this, she talks about her taking care of her children. And because of her childhood and lack of parents, basically, she maybe sometimes felt she went overboard in providing for her kids. And Tim really helps her break this down because whether you were in a cult or not, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt shame, especially when it comes to being a parent and when it comes to our children or your past, like any type of shame. All of us. At least I'm assuming here. Maybe you never have, and good for you. Power on. But put a 1 in the chat. I want her to see that too and know she's not alone here. This is a lot of us. A lot of us are holding on to those type of things from our childhood, that from now being judged as a mom, as a parent, that we're not doing enough. We're doing too much. We're not taking care of ourselves. We're taking care of ourselves too much. There's no one way of doing anything. And then you add into it this whole cult upbringing. See, look at all the ones in the chat. This is so honest. This is real. And that, I think, is what I appreciate so much about this interview series she's doing with Tim Fletcher. She is digging deep and being so vulnerable and being so honest about things that you can't help but watch and go, oh my gosh, I can relate to that. And then Tim Fletcher gives her some ways to reframe things and how to look at that. And I feel like it's such an amazing tool. It really is. There's just a little bit of this clip more from this clip we're going to listen to.
Because I could have my kids, but it like I'm not exaggerating. Like I really, really thought that it was the only good thing about me.
Yeah. So
And the interesting thing too about that is, again, if you read Jenna Miscavige's book, if not, you need to. You can get it on Audible. You can get it on Kindle. You can get it on Amazon. Beyond Belief. Just search that up, Jenna Miscavige Beyond Belief, and you will find it. One of those ways is when she was a child in the Sea Organization from the age of 12, she started being interrogated through Scientology security checking. And it was all about her name. There's this misconception sometimes people have that she got special treatment because her name was Miscavige. It was the opposite. She was treated worse. She was scrutinized in ways other children and kids were not. A lot of them were too. But because of her name, the security checking, them being made to feel you are not worthy of carrying this name, Miscavige. And when you look at her uncle and his behavior, David Miscavige, you're kind of like, well, I mean, seriously, you're going to make that judgment call there? That stuff just sticks with you. And she is such a good mom and loves her kids. And I give her so much credit for sharing this vulnerability with us, for laying it out bare like this. And I hope, I'm going to link it down below. You can go find it on Tim Fletcher's channel, that you guys go and you watch and show her some support in those comments, because this was real. It was raw. And I found it to be very helpful for myself as well. Pocono Pluck, when he was talking about fawning, I felt like maybe he has been watching my Ring camera. Good one. Pause for Andrea. Jenna's interviews were fantastic. I do believe there's going to be 4, and this is the first one, I think. Tim Fletcher has such a soothing voice. Really does. Marcy says, Jenna read her book. It was amazing and unbelievable. James Steele says, brilliant book. Absolutely. Buckled Up Buttercup, indirectly, Jenna is giving everybody tools. I agree. And I appreciate this so much, because when you have, even if you were never, if it wasn't a cult you grew up in, high control group, some type of trauma in your childhood, I think you're going to get something from this series of interviews. And I'm very proud of Jenna, and I have gratitude that she was willing to do this, because how many of us could go on and share these things, like our deepest, darkest in ways, and work through it while it's being recorded and then share that with people. I think it's such a gift. I'm very, very thrilled about this series, because it's helping me learn a lot. Queen of Karma, she had to be perfect. Exactly. That was the pressure put on her as a child. You need to be perfect because your last name is Miscavige. And when she didn't, then it was the security checking. It was the interrogating, all of those things. Anna says, Jenna is a very good parent, even though she didn't really have a lot to draw from in her own childhood. Yeah, and they talk about that. They talk about that too. Incarnasoul, yes. It seems to me that she's the one who makes the name Miscavige worth anything. I agree with you 110%. Susan, good grandma, David Miscavige is not worthy of her name. I agree. Itchy Thetans. Jenna was imprisoned in an auditing room and almost jumped out the window to get away. That's illegal. Oh yeah, almost jumped out the window, got into physical altercations trying to get out. I think she even bit her auditor once trying to get out of the room because they were physically restraining her, trying to hold her in this room and forcing her to undergo these interrogations. She did not get special treatment. It was anything but. Yep, Janet Burns, especially when her parents left, she was put through hell. Even though they left and she stayed, because she didn't really know her parents. She knew her family were the people around her, the people growing up in the cadet org. They were forced to take care of each other. Northern Girl, it's amazing that she's willing to do this online in front of thousands. I agree. Rochelle, I always feel like I'm not saying it the wrong way. I apologize. Rachel, I do find myself thinking about my own behavior when watching her interviews. Jenna is my therapist. Mine too. It's a great series there. Mary James, and there are still some folks practically demanding how she lives her life. Yeah, Exactly. James Still, great point. Ever since Jenna left, she's been protesting Scientology, even with the risk involved and the Miscavige name, brave woman. Exactly. Jenna's been speaking out against Scientology longer than most of us here on the internet who are doing it. And back when there wasn't a group, where there wasn't a group of people online to support her in that, when there weren't as many former Scientologists speaking out about it, she did it anyways, and she's still doing it. Let's see. I think I got one more clip here. And some of you might relate to this too in that same context, right? If you were ever in a similar situation and wondered why your parents didn't love you.
Why didn't my parents like really love me?
Exactly.
Like why? Like I think that I was like a pretty good kid.
Exactly.
And so it's like what did I do to deserve this?
Exactly.
Like
So it's still the haunting belief that something must have been wrong with me. And so we call that kind of the child's egocentric thinking. So a child only thinks that everything is somehow connected to what I do or who I am. It's never about the other person. It's always kind of, I control the outcomes. And so a child's not able to say, my mom and dad were really messed up. They were wonderful in many ways, but their core beliefs, their core motivations was very unhealthy.
Absolutely. Check the whole thing out. I'll link it down below. It's going to be a whole series. I'm very excited about it. Oh, I just bawled my eyes out this morning, and I had watched it before and I watched it again. And yeah, Rachel, I'm with you. Exactly. That part made me cry. The earlier part, I was like, yo, I'm not going to be able to get my act together to do this live stream, but I did. If she can be brave enough to do it in real time and video it and put it out there, I can talk about it. We can talk about it. Raise awareness about it. I think it's a type of thing that can help so many of us. You don't have to have grown up in Scientology to have that experience. And a lot of what Tim Fletcher shares and the tools I thought were so invaluable. I really want everybody to see it. If you haven't caught on, I really want you to watch it. Now, if you wonder, like, where do some of these crazy ideas in Scientology about children come from? Look no further than L. Ron Hubbard himself. Audit LA shared a link to this booklet called From the Scientology Handbook Children, based on the works of L. Ron Hubbard. So prepare yourself for some straight up trash. Now, in this book, he talks about a lot of stuff, but I want to go to the end and I want to show you something. I'm going to link it down below if you want to go read some of this stuff and see why so many in Scientology are so messed up. I went too far. It's not at the end. I lied. It's on, I think it was on page 12. Here we go. So this is from this booklet on children. And keep in mind, like, this is the playbook that Scientologists are indoctrinated into believing what is best for their children. I do want you to keep in mind that parents in Scientology, when you adopt this religious philosophy, and I'm saying that in quotes for anyone not looking, in air quotes, you believe that, oh, here's a way, here's how I should be taking care of my children by not taking care of them, basically. And it's all part of the brainwashing. And that is part of coming out of that too. The guilt that a lot of parents feel. My mom went through that after we left Scientology. We left Scientology. She had been sick for a while. She lived 2 more years. So we had 2 years of being out of Scientology. And it was amazing. It was amazing. But listen to this. The child has a duty toward you. He has to be able to take care of you, not an illusion that he is, but actually. And you have to have patience to allow yourself to be cared for sloppily until by sheer experience itself, not by your directions, he learns how to do it well. Care for the child? Nonsense. He's probably got a better grasp of immediate situations than you have. You beaten up adult. Only when he's almost psychotic with aberration will a child be accident prone. You're well and enjoy life because you aren't owned. You couldn't enjoy life if you were shepherded and owned. You'd revolt. And if your revolt was quenched, you turn into a subversive. That's what you make out of your child when you own, manage, and control him. Now, this next part is where I think L. Ron Hubbard knew on some level that the children of Scientology were one day going to grow up and revolt. He says it right here. Potentially, parent, he's saner than you are, and the world is a lot brighter. His sense of values and reality are sharper. Don't dull them. And your child will be fine, tall, successful, your child will be a fine, tall, successful human being. Own, control, manage, and reject, and you'll get the treatment you deserve. Subversive revolt. So, Office of Special Affairs, what you're experiencing, what Scientology is experiencing, is a revolt from children who grew up in Scientology and now know better, have done some healing, have learned another way, being supported by so many people never in Scientology, but all in on ending this cult. So I guess L. Ron Hubbard got a lot of things wrong, but boy, did he call that one. The theme and motto of the Sea Org is "We come back." And I always like to say, many of us did come back. We do come back to shine light on the fact that you're a human trafficking cult and shut you down and end the abuses in Scientology and the abusive practices. Hey, Joe Virus. Oh, I'm glad you're here and you're adding some stuff to the playlist. That's awesome. Karen McCourt says Tim Fletcher has free courses on his website about how to deal with trauma. Oh, I didn't know that. Very cool, Karen. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, now we got a brain scrub from listening to that L. Ron Hubbard nonsense and talk about Zero Dark Tony, ZDT, Tony Diamatto, who has been arrested. First, for a little refresher on who that little nugget is, let's look at this clip from Growing Up in Scientology.
Talking about some information I had gotten from an insider that Tony was being paid by Scientology through its front group, CCHR. To basically just mercilessly attack every former Scientologist on YouTube. And I did a video about that. So he's just a guy. He's just a guy who's basically, he's on YouTube. He's on the other streaming platforms, and he just does nothing but content just trying to destroy every former Scientologist on YouTube. And he's been doing it for like a year and a half now. And as someone who understands YouTube analytics and how many dollars per 1,000 views is average on YouTube and how many thousands of views Tony's videos normally get, which is close to zero, it's not possible for someone to dedicate their life to such an unpopular activity while making absolutely no money doing it. So it was good to get some confirmation that he was getting paid by Scientology. He, of course, disputes that, but he would dispute it. Talking about
Yes, of course he would. And, a lot of you, if you don't know a lot about this Tony Diamatto, then count yourself lucky. From everything that I have seen and even somewhat experienced, he does appear to be a vile human being who, per these reports, has been being paid by Scientology to harass former members and other people speaking out against Scientology, other people live streaming and protesting. He's been a thorn in the side. He has terrorized multiple former Scientologists, including Nora Ames. She talks about it a lot on her channel, what happened to her. And this is where this man belongs. I hope that he could stay in jail. And Office of Special Affairs, your dude is in jail. Are you going to pay his $130,000 bail? Are you? I don't know. Let's look at another clip here. This one's still from Growing Up in Scientology, and then we're going to look at some Streets LA.
the good news is Zero Dark Tony was just arrested. It seems like he was baited to show up to court by the judge in a different case. And at recess, the 7 officers were waiting for Tony to come out of the courtroom and take him into custody. So the good news is Tony's been arrested. Bad news is we're going to have to put Ron the Bounty Hunter on the back burner, guys. I was all psyched to head out to LA.
This cracked me up. This is why I included it. I thought this was hilarious.
Hey, hit the streets, bounty hunting, Zero Dark Tony. We're going to hog tie him. and drag him into the station.
I think Aaron's getting a lot of use of that, the hat and the mullet, right? Don't you love it? Yeah. So this is a man who has all these charges against him for stalking a minor, Solomon. Many of you are familiar with that story. You've probably been following along with it. And he is exactly where he needs to be. And that is in jail. The things he says, I'm going to tell you something. The reasons why I believe he's working for Scientology, one, the money being paid to him. Secondly, some of the things that he says. You can spot an office special of affairs op. What they do is they write programs. Here's how we're going to take down this creator. Here's how we're going to take down this critic of Scientology. And they try to push certain buttons. And they get it so wrong sometimes. Like the stuff that this guy was saying about myself and my Tony were so ridiculous that you can't even really get that upset about it because it was so ridiculous. This is the same man who said, my partner who died of cancer after a 2.5-year battle unalived himself. The man is sick in the head, and, it makes sense that he's working with Scientology. But a lot of the claims and the stuff he would spout are so ridiculous. They're so obvious where it's coming from. We looked at footage yesterday of how Scientologists would bull bait protesters. You remember from Mark Bunker, all the 4K videos that he's doing? And we saw Tori Magoo getting bull baited in real time and giving it right back to them. Scientology still does it. They just do it on the internet today. And they use other people to say these things and get out these rumors and these, what Scientology calls enemy lines. This is what they do today. They do it with the internet. At least they're using technology in some way, right? Kelly Copter says, they sure know how to pick their players. I know. You just got to be like, how desperate and bad off are you? You know what I'm saying? I wonder if he's making friends. Okay, so let's look at a clip from Scientology Audit Streets LA, who is reacting to this news as well.
The judge ruled that he had to show up today. Now, I think there was a little bit of a trap going on, quite honestly. I think that he said, you'll win this case, but you just got to show up tomorrow. Why does he have to show up? Well, he showed up. And now he's in jail. So now you try to look up on the website where he's at, and the website's down. But I would imagine that today he's going to be booked. He's probably in the process of getting booked or close to being booked. But there's no way he's on a docket to see a judge. The earliest he's going to see a judge is tomorrow. Now, from what I've heard, his bail was $120,000 warrant. So he would have to pay $120,000 bail.
That is a lot of money. Indeed. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think he's going to make bail? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you are on the replay, tell me what you think there. Let's see. Tina McBride, his smile. Yeah. Streets has a great smile. Jess says maybe they'll download his phone date and find collusion and a real RICO involving Scientology. Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? Absolutely. Does it matter to you? Not to me, which is what I hope happens to the other nasty streamer when he goes to court. Yeah, the man is just vile. It is. And well, never mind. That's a whole nother topic, whole nother subject. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. Queen of Karma, he must have a record. I'm assuming that's why there were 7 cops and his bail is so high too. I don't know. I actually don't know. But given the circumstances of how he was stalking this minor and the horrific, vile things he was saying about this minor child and his mother, I mean, I guess they responded in a way that they felt was appropriate for such a person. Yeah, Cubana Chica, you pay about 10% to get out. It's still a decent amount, right? What is that? $12,000 or 13? Because I heard it was 120. Then I thought I heard maybe 136,000 or 130,000. Oh, good idea, Mama Opal. Osa, you can submit your favorite songs too. But no Road to Freedom songs, no L. Ron Hubbard songs. Well, you can tell us if that's your favorite Pump Me Up song. Get on the road to freedom. There's an oldie but goodie. You can tell us because I would like to know, but we're not going to put it on the playlist. Northern Girl, I wonder if Tony's mother will bail him out. I don't know. I don't know. Joe Virus, so glad some of these idiots are starting to get some consequences. Well said, Joe. I agree. Frell Cheryl, ZDT, don't want to go to cell block 1. I would agree. I would agree. I really hope the other person doesn't bail him out. Would be disappointing. Absolutely. I can't imagine wanting to help somebody in his position and be associated in any way, shape, or form with that. I mean, just vile is like the word that just comes to mind. Vile. The man is a vile dumpster fire. Seal Bill, Scientology is going to leave him out to dry. Okay, Ingrid's saying it's $130,000. All right, so it'll be $13,000 still. Frell Cheryl says Tony will have a hard time in jail due to his charges. It could be. It could be. I wonder how long he's going to be there. Do we think he's going to be there through till Monday? I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out more. Queen of Karma, imagine stalking a minor, then your mommy has to bail you out. That's funny. Okay, changing speed here. We're going to talk about my little adventure yesterday. I was on a podcast. It's a new podcast called Get Sweaty with Letty. In fact, let me show you here. It's a new YouTube channel. It's a podcast and he's doing it on YouTube too. I met him and his wife through, they own a local brewery that makes some of my favorite THC drinks. And he is doing, so Get Sweaty with Letty is a wellness channel dedicated to pain management. You can learn more about it there, but here's the deal. He does the interviews in a sauna, and then you go and you do a cold plunge into Lake Minnetonka. Now, if you guys saw the movie Purple Rain with Prince, you may have heard where he says to Apollonia that you need to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Well, I did yesterday, and I have the video to prove it. I made a short of it. The episode won't be out for some weeks, and I'll let you know when that comes out, but I did do a little short I'm going to share with you, and I have to mute the music because here's the weird thing. If you make a short on YouTube, and if I got this wrong, somebody tell me, but this is what I've had happen. You make a short on YouTube, it shows you the music you can use. You can use it, you can play it, it's fine. But if I share that short in my video with that music playing, then YouTube acts like, oh, that's copyrighted music. So I don't get the difference, but I'm muting the music. So while we're watching it, you need to hear Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Anybody want to kind of start the song? You know that one, Bring Me to Life. You know the one, Wake Me Up Inside. You know that one? Y'all know the song? So if you don't, just hum along with something else because I have to mute it. I have to mute it. So let's see. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up. This was my cold plunge adventure on Lake Minnetonka during this podcast with Get Sweaty with Letty. We start off in the sauna. We do the interview before it gets too hot. Then he makes the sauna even hotter. And then every ounce of makeup, including my eyebrows, melt off my face. Then we do the walk of life down the dock to the hole where you plunge in. So they cut out this hole. This is right behind Back Channel Brewing right on Lake Minnetonka. And they have a ladder that they put in. So Josh is going in ahead of me down into the hole. Gets all in there. And it was 17 degrees, by the way, 17 degrees. And I'm getting in and I'm wussy. So I'm wearing my big old hat. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm wearing gloves. I'm wearing water shoes. I'm doing my best to stay warm. And then I hit that water and start like hyperventilating. And it's a plunge, not a lap pool. So I didn't feel bad about popping right out and getting the heck out of there. It was a trip. Yeah, Anna, it was a very long walk. I have to say, though, I was very surprised. Now I did a polar plunge. They do them a lot here around Lake Minnetonka here in Minnesota. I did one, oh my gosh, probably 15 years ago. It was a New Year's one. Happens on New Year's Day. And it was horrific. I've never done cold plunge sauna. I've done just sauna and I feel like crap afterwards. For me, that's just me, and I got a lot going on. I feel like crap after. So I did the sauna, we did the cold plunge and a little bit of sauna, and I was on my way. I don't even want to admit this. I felt amazing. My body felt amazing. My pain was less. I was so tired, but in a very relaxed, exhausted way. I think I was asleep by 8:30 last night or something close to it. I was so tired, but in just a very relaxed way. So I would probably do it again. And some people do multiple times a day. I'm not saying I'm trying to do that, but I would try it again. And I think that if you can control your breathing when you're in the water, it's not actually the cold. It's so shocking that I started like, like if I could control that and just take some deep breaths while in the water and control my breathing, you can be there calmly. And I would like to try it and get to that point. I never thought I would say this, like, oh my gosh, I've joined the cold plunge cult, but I didn't hate it. Sauna alone, not a fan. Cold plunge alone, not a fan. I don't even want to take a cold shower. The two together, I don't know. It's doing something for me. Anna from Canada, I love that hat. Thank you. I love it too. I wear it all the time in the winter. Von Fino, this one was the best you have shared so far. Thank you. Are you talking about that particular short? Either way, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Glenda says, girl, you crazy. Oh yeah. No, I totally am. I am. You're not on YouTube talking about this kind of stuff without being a little loopy. It goes with it. Don says we call that the polar plunge. Yes. And like I said, it's a plunge, not a lap pool. So I wasn't trying to like sit around in that place. There's a platform down too. So you don't even have to sink in to the bottom of the lake. The platform makes it very much more doable. Northern girl, the hat with that bathing suit. Oh yeah. Just call me a fashionista. Tabitha, I felt amazing. When I got out, my head was still sweaty. So my legs felt kind of numb. But when we were walking back to the sauna, I had on my robe and I really felt fine. I wasn't shivering. When I did the polar plunge years ago, after the plunge, I was shivering. It took me hours to warm back up. That wasn't my experience this time. When I got out, I felt fine. In fact, we went back into the sauna for a little bit, wrapped up the interview. I went inside, I changed clothes, I came back out. It was 14 degrees out. I wasn't even cold. I was like, whoa, I'm liking this. I am. So let's see. I'm going to catch up here. Skyfire, my asthma hurts just thinking about that. No, I feel you, but I was fine. But again, you should really consult your medical people if you got stuff going on before doing something like this. Lady Victoria says, I hyperventilate. I'm happy to know I'm not the only person who does that in cold water. No, I think it's like an automatic kind of reaction that people have. Mar, hey there. I was so impressed that you did that plunge. I wasn't about to put my head under. I'm like, no, I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life. Nisa says it's enough to catch hypothermia. It could be if you just stayed outside. The Real Life School. I love cold plunges. I do regular cold shock showers for a few minutes in the morning. I learned about it from Finding Wim Hof. My neurologist told me to take cold showers, and I said, oh, no, go away with that negativity. The hot shower, that is like my happy place. It's when I slow down. Then he said, well, just at the end. I'm like, just at the end? That's like eating an amazing piece of chocolate cake that's so good, and then you put dog shit on it. Why would I do that? But in his defense, he was probably right there because I've heard it from a few other neurologists. I cannot bring myself to do it because I love my hot shower and being comfortable, but we'll see. There's another gym that I threatened to join has a sauna and a cold plunge. I think that might be a good way to do it too. Not having to get in the actual lake water, but get into a tub. Joe Virus says rain goes from our hot tub and then jumps into our cold pool. Ooh, that's another way of doing it. It is. I love that. Paralyzed to paralyzed says vagus nerve activated. Maybe that's why it feels so good, because I keep hearing that activating your vagus nerve is good. I just don't put it all together. Kelly Copter says, I do it in the gym with cold showers in between. That's where I do my gratitude. Oh, I love it. See, at the gym, I could see doing something like that if I went to the gym. But at home, I don't know. I don't know. But I want to hear if you guys have done stuff like this too. Rachel, next hotline call will be about the cold plunge cult. It might just be, I might be calling in myself. Carla's loving wife says 9 out of 10 Minnesotans prefer to use the plunge hole for ice fishing. You are right. You are totally right about that. KS Asky Gal says, did a sweat lodge, and after we did the plunge was truly awesome. Ah, thank you, Joe Virus. Holy moly, you rock that swimsuit. You got to love a really good angle. I was the camera was kind to me that day, except for the one that got close up on my face afterwards on their end, because like literally everything melted, but it's fine. You guys have seen me a hot mess, no makeup, eyes all puffy. It's nothing you've not seen before, and you will see more of. Asen says, I call that a plunge I will never do. Hey, T, per Scientology Audit. Good to see you there. That's what she said. You're late, but you're here. I hope you're catching up on the replay. Jersey Jan, yes, hot showers are almost as good as chocolate. I agree. They might be even for me, actually. Hot showers might be a little bit higher on that. Aphrodite, thank you for jumping in. I finally made a live. I like to take a hot shower, and then when the hot water runs out, I'll stay in the cold for a few. See, that's what I got to work up to. I got to stop being such a wuss about it and do that. Amber goes to the YMCA after work, rides a stationary bike for 20 minutes, swims, sits in the jacuzzi, shower, and goes home. I always feel really good. That sounds like a really good routine, Amber. Good for you, girl. Cassie says, I take crazy hot showers and kick it to cold right before I get out. Helps me wake up. Yeah, I think I may just need to do that. Does it matter to you? Not to me. It gives the body a reset. It felt like it. It really did. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I felt really good. I was shocked, actually, kind of surprised by that. So I would do it again. All right, here you guys. In a couple of hours, I'm thinking at 12, I'm going to do a very fun Q&A. I've got a whole bunch more fun questions coming. We're going to do it vertical. Hope you guys can join. It's always fun because I want you guys to answer some of these questions too. We're going to do rapid fire. You can bring your questions, but I also have a list. Probably doing that in just under 2 hours. I think I'm going to do it at noon. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. That's the plan. Best laid plans. Hit that like. If y'all would hit that subscribe. And Aloha Friday. Happy Aloha Friday to you guys. I hope you all get out and have an amazing cult-free day.